Blonde girl hang from tree for dare to bring food to Indians until a Comanche warrior rides in. The sun was barely over the horizon when the small frontier town came alive with whispers. Did you hear? They caught her. They say she was seen heading toward the Comanche camp. Foolish girl. She'll get herself killed. 17-year-old Clara Whitfield didn't think she was foolish. She thought she was doing what was right. The Comanche camp a few miles west had been starving since early winter. The settlers had cut off trade, and the hunting grounds were empty. Clara had seen their children in town once. Thin, hollow-eyed, too weak to fight for scraps. So when her friends dared her bring food to them, she didn't hesitate. Not because of the dare, but because the thought of anyone's child going hungry sat like a stone in her chest. She hadn't expected to be caught. Now she stood beneath the old oak at the edge of town, her hands tied, a noose hanging from a branch above. Her pale hair shone like gold in the morning light, but her eyes were steady. A crowd had gathered, men with rifles, women with crossed arms, and children peeking from behind skirts. She was consorting with the enemy. A man spat, feeding them. That's treason. They're people, Clara said. Her voice clear despite the pounding in her chest. Children. They were starving. They're savages, another man growled. And you betrayed your own kind. The rope itched against her neck as someone tightened it. Clara swallowed hard, not from fear of dying, but from the knowledge that she had failed to bring the food. Any last words? The leader of the mob asked. She opened her mouth, but the thunder of hooves cut through the air. From the dust of the western road, a rider appeared, a tall figure on a black and white pinto, his hair braided with beads, his shoulders broad beneath a fringed leather shirt. A Comanche warrior, his bow slung across his back, a spear in hand. The crowd stiffened, rifles raised, but the rider didn't slow. He reined his horse hard, stopping in a spray of dirt before the tree. His dark eyes swept over the scene, landing on Clara. In one swift motion, he drew a long knife from his belt. Step aside, he said in accented but steady English. No one moved. The leader sneered. She's ours. She's a traitor. The warrior's gaze was cold as winter. To you, maybe. To me, she is brave. Before anyone could react, he swung from the saddle, cutting the rope above her head with a single stroke. Clara gasped as the tension released, stumbling forward into his grip. Gunshots cracked the air, but the warrior moved like lightning, pulling her onto a horse before kicking it into a gallop. The wind roared in Clara's ears as they flew down the dirt road, the shouts of the mob fading behind them. They didn't stop until they reached a ridge overlooking the plains. Below, the Comanche camp lay nestled among cottonwoods, smoke rising from a few small fires. Children darted between the lodges, their laughter faint in the distance. The warrior slowed his horse, letting it breathe. Clara clung to him, her fingers gripping the leather of his belt. Her heart still hammered from the escape. You're safe now, he said quietly. She looked up at him. Why would you help me? They'll come after you too. He gave a small, wry smile. Because you came for us first. In the camp, the Comanche people greeted her with wary eyes. The warrior, whose name she learned was Dakota, explained what had happened in town. She brought food? An elder asked. She tried, Dakota said, and for that, they would kill her. The elder nodded slowly. Then she stays here. Our fire will warm her. Over the days that followed, Clara saw what the townsfolk refused to believe. The Comanche were not monsters. They were families, hunters, mothers soothing babies, boys learning to ride. She shared her bread with the children, helped the women gather wood, and listened to the elders' stories at night by the fire. Dakota often watched her from a distance, but when their eyes met, there was no distrust, only the quiet understanding of two people who had risked something for the sake of others. One night, as the moon hung low, she found him by the river, sharpening his knife. "You saved my life," she said. "You tried to save ours," he replied without looking up. She hesitated. "They'll say I betrayed them, that I belong here now." He finally looked at her. "Where do you want to belong?" She didn't answer right away. The sound of the river filled the silence. "Here," she said at last, "where people don't turn their backs on the hungry." Takota's eyes softened. "Then here you will stay." The mob from town did come, angry, armed, demanding she be returned. But when they reached the ridge, they found Takota and a dozen warriors waiting. Clara stood among them, her hair braided, her face calm. "She's with us now," Takota told them, "and here she is free." The townsfolk hesitated, realizing they'd have to cross armed warriors to reach her. One by one, they turned back. Clara never returned to the town. She learned the Comanche tongue, rode the plains, and watched the children she had once tried to feed grow strong. And every time she passed the old oak tree in her memory, she thought of the moment the rope had gone slack and the voice that had told her she was brave.